Now, barely 48 hours of coming into the office, these people have started again with trying to set Fubara up, for another suspension. Now, there is this saga going on right now where the APC chieftain has urged Fubara to sack all sole administrators, appointees, and that he should seek Tinubu's assurance over impeachment. The problem now is this: whoever the sole administrator has put there has been put under the authority of Tinubu. And of course, yes, they are spies. And the thing he should have done ordinarily is for him to sack them, because they've come and gone with the illegal and illegitimate sole administrator Ibas. Ibas should be in jail by now if Nigeria were to be a working country. So telling him to sack them ordinarily would have been the correct thing, but the correct thing is not the politically correct thing. So as a result of that, Fubara should know that he would have to leave those people. Otherwise, the same people pushing him now are only setting him up for another political problem. And now this is what the clown has to say. A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Eze Chukwuemeka Eze, has urged Governor Sim Fubara to sack all appointees of the sole administrators in the past 6 months. And this is crazy. And people are definitely in support of that. But if you look at it, this is a very stupid advice. And then, unfortunately, for these people, what they do not know is that Fubara is ordinarily should not be politically naive as he used to be. So he would have learned from the big men, in politics in this is 6 months sojourn to learn that, there are some things that are right and there are some things that are wrong politically. And then before they begin to look at this, ordinarily those people should not remain in the office, because the sole administrator that brought them removed them. But let him take it easy until he settles down and see how things are, because they say chicken, when they just reach a new place, you go first put one leg down, not be the full 2 legs you go put down at once. So you should not be in a hurry to make mistakes. He can gradually, over time, overhaul the system and remove the people who he feels are not loyal, and then retain, if possible, some of those administrators people, because there is no how he will not be in communication with the man, and without fear or favor of any of those interim government appointees. He can sack any of them immediately, because the interim government that brought them has ended. Sole administrator Ibas, since it has expired, and then all these appointments are undemocratic, and they are definitely spies on the River State government. And of course, they are not going to be loyal to Similai Fubara if he knows. They may not even be loyal to Wike in the long run, and they are a clog in the wheels of River State people's democracy. And as a result of that, they should go. So Similai Fubara should sack them, but not now. If he does that now, he's in soup. It may take up to like 6 months, because it still has about 2 years. Now, talking about confused individuals, we will look at this bunch of jobless security personnel attached to the illegitimate Ibas. Now, they are protesting that the sole administrator didn't pay them, that he owes them arrears. But where were these clowns before the man left? The man has left. Fubara is coming in, and you people are coming to come with your confusion again. Do you say they are owing you, and you have big stomach like this? Where are you getting the money to be eating all the food that is filling the stomach? But now, to be sincere, if this man is owing them, you should pay them, because in the end, people cannot come and work for you, serve you, and then you take all the money from River State. A sole individual that you are, you had the knife and the yam in your hand, and now you have left. You are going back to your state or Abuja, and you are going with money. And these people, in the end, have right to protest, because and they mainly comprise of the NS, CDC, that is the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, had in the house of the River State government house, demanded for their entitlement before the Ibas handover to the returning governor of the state. But it was already too late. This guy was going like today, and that same day you people are protesting. Where the hell were you people before that? And they are not crying like, baby, we no go do again. Waiting, which kind of thing be this one? For 6 months, hard labor, suffering, waiting. What was the hard labor you people went through? Were they not feeding you people in the government house? Were you people not part of the whole shenanigans of removing Fubara from office. Well, I sympathize with these people, because if you look at them also, you know that these people are not politicians. In the end, the politicians are the ones who will run away with money, while these security personnel will just work, and some of them die in the process, and their families will not even get any good compensation, and then the children become hooligans and begin to serve the children of this same corrupt politician, and then the vicious circle continues. So who are the biggest losers in the end? Is the children of the poor, and this same security personnel, especially the low level ones, because their bosses at the top are also feeding fat from the proceeds of corruption in the country, and in the end they have nothing to suffer because their children are also abroad. In my honest opinion, most of these people who are now coming to defend Fubara after his return are a bunch of hypocrites. Many of them were nowhere to be found when there was the real struggle to bring Fubara back. And now there is this woman, Loretta Onoche. I don't really know how much she fought during the 6 months suspension, but that she said that Tinubu's lawlessness will be punished in 2027 by Niger Deltans. We are set, and the problem now is that how many of all these people would actually vote? Many of these people will get 5,000 naira and eventually still vote for their oppressors. They will vote for the person who is oppressing them, that is President Tinubu. So in the end, when she's talking, is she the one that will go to the polling unit to vote? She is only entitled to one vote, so she should speak for herself and allow the people of Niger Deltans to decide. Because to me, ordinarily, Tinubu is more or less an impostor if people are claiming that he did not win the election. And like Showore has said, Tinubu is a criminal, according to Showore, that Tinubu said there is no more corruption in Nigeria. And that was the same thing Jonathan, the way he said stealing is not corruption. And Jonathan lost the election as a result of that stupidity. Now, Tinubu is following the same path. So, should Tinubu go? Absolutely yes. I have no business with keeping Tinubu. So now this is what she has to say. Loretta Onoche, a former aide to ex-president Muhammad Buhari, has criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over his handling of the Rivers State crisis, as reported by Daily Post. She warned that the people of Niger Delta will not forget what happened and may respond during the 2027 general election. Onoche said that the president's decision to declare emergency rule in Rivers State was unconstitutional and amounted to lawlessness. Definitely it was. But if Tinubu had not done that, those people would have illegally removed Fubara through impeachment. But in the end, did they really have the power or right to do that? No. So if Tinubu is saying that he only saved the day, Tinubu actually created the atmosphere for it to even happen in the first place. It's just like you have a child, you have a house girl who lives with you, and your children are always beating the house girl, and then one day your children are about to beat the house girl. You now say, okay, do you know what? Don't beat her. You now go and lock the house girl up in the bathroom so that they will not beat her. It's like you are committing a double crime, because you even you've actually saved the house girl from being beaten by your children when you leave home. But you would have been able to even stop your children from even having this entitlement mentality of wanting to beat your house girl. And that is this case of Fubara. Tinubu allowed his minister, Wike, to create instability in Rivers State because it will favor Tinubu in the 2027 election. So Tinubu now coming to say he brought state of emergency to save Fubara's neck was even the one who allowed the situation that led to what would have even brought about the impeachment to be in the first place. She stressed that the action left the state in hardship for 6 months and caused political instability because nothing was being done in the state all through the time the man was there. They said there was political crisis. Tell me one violence that the man quenched. Tell me one protest that you saw the man stop. Tell me where you saw militants fighting or anything. That bombing that occurred before Tinubu declared state of emergency, that the bomb pipeline was actually orchestrated by the government of either Tinubu or Wike had a hand in it. So in the end, they would be able to use that to justify their state of emergency. So on March 18, 2025, as I've already stated, Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State as a result of what he called the shenanigans in the state and the lawlessness. The order suspended Fubara, his deputy, and all state House of Assembly members. And during this period, retired Admiral Chief Ibok was appointed, to me, a clown, as the sole administrator to manage the affairs of the state. The presidency said the decision was necessary to prevent a deeper political crisis. Sure, it was to prevent a deeper political crisis, but who caused the political crisis in the first place? Wike. But it drew widespread condemnation. Many civil society groups, opposition politicians and Niger Delta activists argued that the step was a violation of democratic principle. Onoche accused Tinubu of deliberately undermining democratic institutions in the state. She said the emergency rule was a form of punishment for Rivers people and were denied the leadership they voted for. She added that Tinubu underestimated the political awareness of Niger Deltans by thinking that they are stupid, and as a result that if he does anything, it will not bring any repercussion. And she maintained that the people of the region will not overlook what she described as an abuse of power. She stated that the political consequences will be felt in the near future. Tinubu never thought that the 6 months of hell he illegally and unconstitutionally imposed on Rivers State will come to an end. That Tinubu lawlessness will be punished in 2027 by Niger Deltans, she concluded. So this clown, Ibas, that should be in jail, he said the Rivers State crisis, has ended, and that Tinubu's emergency mandate achieved. That is after the conduct of the local government election. But this is crazy, or is it not crazy, that for him to say that the mandate has been achieved? What was achieved? That they should come and impose people on the people of Rivers under the guise of conducting a local government election that would strengthen Tinubu's hold in Rivers and allow APC eventually return to power, or win election in Rivers State. This is crazy. This clown said, Mr. President's mandate to me was clear: stabilize the state, reestablish its institution, and return Rivers State to full democratic governance. With the successful conduct and inauguration of local government council, we have decisively delivered on that mandate, the retired clown said. For once, an election was conducted where nobody was harassed, where they were paying people to come and vote, and people were disenfranchised, and people boycotted the election, you are saying, and then a local government produced over 300,000 votes. Meanwhile, the total number of votes that APC even got in the last election for Rivers for Tinubu was not even up to 300,000, and then one local government alone had 300,000 votes. This is a joke. He said for once, the election was conducted where nobody was harassed. Where people freely made their choice of leaders. This man is a clown, and he is praising the RACEC for that feat. A feat of where they brought in people and allowed the people to come and do what they wanted to do, how they wanted it, and when they wanted it. And this is the tragedy that we find ourselves in Nigeria. So in Nigeria's electoral history, no institution at national or subnational level has organized and concluded an entire election process within 30 days. With modesty, I state this is as an unprecedented record. These people are clowns, people who are praising the Ibas and then Ibas himself. This shows that election was never even conducted in Rivers, and this shows that this election local government chairmen are illegal and illegitimate, and they'll face courts, and then eventually they'll all be sacked. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I remain your boy Ojyokpe at the Kojex. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Signing out. Peace.